Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to discuss the placenta previa and placenta equita diagnosis and management green top guidelines. This is number 27A and it was published in September 2018. Now coming to the executive summary of this guideline, how antenatal diagnosis and care of women is done with placenta previa or low-lying placenta. What are the risk factors for women with placenta previa or low-lying placenta? This is the question. The incidence of placenta previa at term is 1 in 200 pregnancies, and cesarean delivery is associated with an increased risk of placenta previa in subsequent pregnancies. The risk rises as the number of prior cesarean sections increases. Assisted reproductive technology and maternal smoking increases the risk of placenta previa. Now we will summarize it. The incidence is 1 in 200 pregnancies at term, and cesarean delivery increases the risk of placenta previa. Assisted reproductive technologies, they increase the risk of placenta previa, and the maternal smoking that increases the risk of placenta previa. Now coming to the question, should we screen women for placenta previa or a low-lying placenta? If so, at birth gestation and with what follow-up? So there are three questions in this stem, like how we will screen the woman for placenta previa and what gestation this screening will be performed and how those women will be given a follow-up. The answer to this question is very simple. The mid-pregnancy routine fetal anomaly scan should include placental localization, thereby identifying women at risk of persisting placenta previa or a low-lying placenta. Like, we will perform a mid-pregnancy fetal anomaly scan, which will do localization and will screen the woman with placenta previa or low-lying placenta. Now coming, the term placenta previa should be used when the placenta lies directly over the internal os. And for pregnancies at more than 16 weeks of gestation, the term low-lying placenta should be used when the placental edge is less than 20 mm or 2 centimeters from the internal os on transabdominal or transvaginal scanning. Like placenta previa will be placenta directly on the internal os. And for the low-lying placentas from 16 weeks onward, when we will get placental edge is less than 2 centimeters from the internal os on transabdominal or transvaginal scanning, then we will label those women with low-lying placentas. And if the placenta is thought to be low-lying, less than 2 centimeters from the internal os or previa, that is covering the internal os. At the routine fetal anomaly scan, the follow-up will be done by transvaginal sonography at 32 weeks of gestation to diagnose persistent low-lying placenta or placenta previa. Now coming to the details of placenta previa, grading is grade 1 is minor placenta previa, that is lower edge inside the lower segment, uterine segment, and grade 2 or marginal previa is the lower edge reaching the internal os, and grade 3 or partial previa is when the placenta partially covers the os, and grade 4 is complete previa or completely covering the cervix. So grade 1 and 2 minor and marginal are minor placenta previa, and grade 3 and 4 are referred to as the major placenta previa. Now these terminology has been changed and now placenta previa is set for those which cover the internal os. That means major placenta previa, grade 3 and 4, they come up in placenta previa terminology, and those of marginal previa or grade 2 placenta previa, they are low-lying placenta previa. Alright, now coming forward, um, estimated incidence, I have already told you that at term it is 1 in 200 pregnancies. And the placenta accreta is a histopathological term first described by Irving and Herting in 1937 as the abnormal adherence of the afterbirth in whole or in partial to the underlying uterine wall in the partial or complete absence of the decidua. Like decidua, defective or absent decidual basilis layer is absent in such cases where the placenta accreta occur. Accreta is the adherence where the villi adhere superficially to the myometrium without interposing the decidua, and incretas where the villi penetrate deeply into the uterine myometrium down to the serosa, and increta is the where the villus tissue perforates through the entire uterine wall and may invade the surrounding pelvic organs such as the bladder. And this terminology is further subdivided into total, partial, or focal according to the amount of placental tissue that is involved and different depths of the accreta placentation. Placenta accreta is a spectrum disorder ranging from abnormally adherent to deeply invasive placental tissue. Now coming to what is the role and what are the risks of transvaginal sonography. Clinicians should be aware that the transvaginal sonography for the diagnosis of placenta previa or low-lying placenta is superior to transabdominal and transperineal approaches, and it is safe. Safe in cases of placenta previa and low-lying placenta. In women with a persistent low-lying placenta or placenta previa at 32 weeks of gestation who remain asymptomatic, an additional transvaginal sonography is recommended at around 36 weeks of gestation to inform discussion about mode of delivery. A cervical length measurement may help facilitate management decisions in asymptomatic women with placenta previa. A short cervical length on transvaginal sonography before 34 weeks of gestation increases the risk of preterm emergency